Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for having me today. It's an honor to be representing Farfetch, a partner to Black Tech Fest today. So first, I'm going to tell you just a bit about Farfetch in case you don't know. So Farfetch is the leading global platform for the luxury fashion industry, a worldwide fashion community of curators, creators, and customers. Now, many of you may be familiar with Farfetch.com. Hopefully you purchased some things from us in the past, but I wanted to talk a bit more about what we mean when we say that we are a platform. So we're not just Farfetch.com. We are a platform that powers Farfetch.com as well as partner brands and complementary businesses. We have in our brand group, we have Farfetch. We also have Stadium Goods, which is a brand for the sneakerhead community. And we also have Browns, which is both an e-commerce multi-channel offering, as well as 2 stores here in London. And then on the right, you can see we have our brand platform. So in that, we've got New Guards Group, which is the holding company for a lot of successful brands that you might have heard of. Off-White, Palm Angels, Heron Preston. And it's a platform for us to launch new brands through, all the way from ideation through to distribution. We actually launched a new brand today called There Was One, which is a collection of sustainable basics. And it's the first time that Farfetch has launched its own brand, of course, done with our partners, New Guards Group. And in the middle is a bit more about what I'm going to talk to you about today, which is our luxury new retail and enterprise solutions. So we have Farfetch Platform Solutions, which takes some of our technology that's been built on our platform to market to luxury brands. We have Curiosity China, which is our way to help brands enter the Chinese market. And then you have Future Retail, which is where I and my team sit. So my team are a small R&D lab where we look at how we can dream up what the future of retail is going to look like, using what we know about consumer trends and technology trends, and thinking about what is retail going to look like 3 to 5 years from now. Within Future Retail, we incubate, test, and accelerate new technology. And we also do strategic innovation partnerships with brands. Our open innovation sits in here, so anything that we do with startups, accelerating our roadmaps, but also our brand partners' roadmaps. And then you've got my team that really looks at doing R&D and POCs of new concepts. So when I was asked to come and talk at this presentation today, knowing that we're talking to technology professionals, and also not retailers, I was thinking, okay, well, what are some of the consumer trends and emerging technologies that are getting lots of attention right now? And of course, the metaverse is one of them. So this topic is from multi-channel to multiverse. So it is very much from a luxury retail lens, but I wanted to give a flavor of what we understand the best of the best in technology to look like today when it comes to a multi-channel offering. And I'll talk a bit more about what that means, and how the emergence of the metaverse is going to change that, and how we're going to evolve into a multiverse offering. So first, what we've got right now, the multi-channel. If you don't work in retail, you may not be familiar with the term multi-channel or omni-channel, but we've all shopped, so we know when the experience isn't actually living up to multi-channel desires. It's when you order online, but you can't return to the store. It's when you browse online, but you have no idea whether the item in the size that you want is actually in your local store when you get there, or you don't know how to find it within the store. Or it's when a store is out of stock of a certain size and something that you want, and the sales associate doesn't have a way to get it for you or to order it for you, and you're left to your own devices to then go home and look online and order it for yourself. A true multi-channel experience brings all of these online and offline touch points together for you as the customer, and for the staff and the sales associates and the warehouse staff, and all brings it together in a seamless way. So I wanted to start by telling you about what Farfetch believes the multi-channel offering of today should look like. And this is already quite innovative when it comes to a lot of the retailers that we work with. For us, it feels quite old and quite basic because we've been talking about what we used to call store of the future for so long. But it's really only through a new store that we've opened recently for Browns in London, in Mayfair on Brook Street, that we've really been able to see the full multi-channel journey come to life. So I am going to show you a quick video that better takes you through that experience than I could verbally. So that video shows you this full end-to-end customer journey where, she started at home browsing, she went into the store, she was browsing things in store, that was able to be serviced to her sales associate. Things that weren't available in the store were available through connected mirrors. There's a lot of technology in there, and it's obviously because we're using this to sell technology. But to give you an idea, in the real world, obviously, we don't want devices to be getting in the way of the experience that you're having. They're there to facilitate an even better journey for the customer and for the sales associate. So in there, you saw a consumer app, which was a Browns branded app where customers were able to save their wish list. They're able to check into the store when they get there, enable experiences like the virtual try-on that you saw, the augmented, the AR try-on that you saw. We have connected devices like the connected mirror that's in the fitting room. We're also now trialing a connected display in the store, which is an ability for us to bring the catalog that we don't have into the store into the environment for customers to browse from. We have the in-store app, which is like the powerhouse for the sales associate and brings everything together. And then you saw the smart tags, those little black tags that were on the garments. And this is actually something that we're R&Ding in my lab, which is what we're calling the offline cookie. So it is, you've got cookies on website, right? We can track everything that you're doing. It's the idea of being able to track customer and or just general interactions with products in the store so that we can start to capture valuable data around how products are moving and what people are doing with them. So for us, that's what the best of multi-channel looks like. But the metaverse is coming. And so we've started to think about what is that going to mean? How is this going to evolve? And particularly that relationship with the customer and with the sales associate. So first, what is the metaverse? Like the best examples of what we have right now of what the metaverse is come from what we've seen in gaming environments, or if any of you watch Ready Player One, the idea of this like virtual world that you're living in. But this image came from a really great piece of intelligence by Wonderman Thompson that I think summarized the metaverse and a lot of the opportunities really clearly. Looking at the bottom left corner, we've got things like social, decentralized, user-defined. The metaverse is a place where people will define the world for themselves. Ownership will be for everyone, and you will actually interact with one another, not just enter a virtual or augmented world in isolation. Looking at the top, we've got persistent, reactive, interoperable. The metaverse is always on. When you leave, it continues. It's a living, breathing world, and it reacts to you being there when you are, but it's still doing things when you're not. The interoperability is still something that's being worked on. Right now, there's not actually a lot of interoperability between platforms, but it is an underlying premise of the metaverse that we will see come to fruition. You will see that you'll be able to use your avatar or digital goods that you'll be creating in different worlds and in different metaverses. And then the most exciting part from my perspective is the creative, the limitless, and the everyday. We can't imagine right now what we would be able to do in the metaverse in the same way that we couldn't imagine what we would be able to do on the internet when that first emerged. But the potential for creatives is really exciting because it gives a space where you can own your own creativity, where you can launch your own products, where you can really own your own relationships with the people that love what you're doing. And for me, that's really exciting. There's a VC that's really into this space, Matthew Ball. He's done some amazing articles around the metaverse. And he says there will be no clean before metaverse and after metaverse. Instead, it will slowly emerge over time as different products, services, and capabilities integrate and meld together. So I'm often asked, like, what's the horizon for this? And it's happening. It's already happening. It's just going to happen naturally. Our kids are already playing in Roblox every day. It's already out there. We're just not all of us have engaged with it yet. So something that we do in our team when there's a new concept, when there's something emerging, is we try to understand it through a customer journey. So you've seen this multi-channel customer journey. I'm going to narrate to you what a potential multiverse retail experience could look like. So just close your eyes and listen to this potential customer journey. So meet Layla, owner of Metion, a luxury fashion boutique in Decentraland, which she launched in 2022. Layla has always loved fashion and built a successful career as an Instagram influencer. Through social media, she felt she was able to have a meaningful impact and global reach, but she aspired to own her own platform, where she could control the curation and the experience for her followers. The emergence of the metaverse and its inclusivity and base of self-ownership and expression presented her that opportunity. Metion sells both physical and digital branded goods that are curated in line with Layla's own fashion sense and lifestyle. Layla also regularly does custom NFT drops in collaboration with other influencers and brands. Jamie is one of Metion's most loyal customers. They met Layla at a virtual festival and her top caught Jamie's eye. Layla makes her digital wardrobe available for anyone to see, so Jamie browsed, loved what they saw, and struck up a conversation. Layla invited Jamie for a personal shopping session at Metion, and the rest is history. Jamie likes to be seen to stand out, both in the physical and virtual worlds. They wear a mix of traditional luxury and independent creator brands, and mixes up the style, hair color, and makeup of their avatar at a frequency simply not possible in their physical life. Their last order from Metion was one at the NFT collabs that they plan on wearing at a Fortnite concert next week, and also the latest Balenciaga bag, which will arrive home just in time for their cousin's real-world birthday party next weekend. For both Layla and Jamie, the metaverse is a space where they have been able to explore their truest versions of themselves and find their like-minded community. Now, this journey may seem far off, but we're already seeing it happening. We've seen the Gucci and Roblox collaboration where a handbag, a digital twin of a real world handbag sold for more than the real world handbag would have sold for. We've seen the amazing Balenciaga and Fortnite launch where they used all available marketing channels to advertise products that are actually only available in that one game. And then we've seen the emergence of new luxury brands that are virtual only, Artifact being an excellent example of that. So when I think about what the shift from multi-channel to multiverse is going to look like and the impact on our businesses and the way that we shop, I'm looking at it through three lenses. One is discovery and influencers. Second, community and events. And the third is the actual products production and supply chain. So starting with discovery and influencers. In the multi-channel world, acquisition and outreach is primarily being done through digital channels, physical media, and physical stores. In the multiverse, media partnership spend is going to shift to games in these virtual environments, and we're already, again, starting to see that happen. But imagine what that's going to do to your marketing budgets and how you break down that spend. Right now, discovery and influencer is quite heavily purposeful search in search engines or websites, people typing in keywords, or even when they go to your website, we all know that something searched for is going to convert better than just, somebody coming in and browsing. In the multiverse, you have the opportunity for real-time discovery in these virtual worlds. And actually in the physical world through AR, I think the day very soon, we've just seen Ray-Ban Stories launch, it's coming very soon where I'll be able to look at something that somebody is wearing and identify what it is and it sync to my phone and take me on a purchase journey. Discovery is going to be way more real time and influencers are going to be everywhere. And then right now, influencers have a heavy reliance on social media platforms, right? It's hard for them to create their own spaces. But you heard what I said about creatives. In the metaverse, we can have influencer-owned metaverse stores, but also they can start curating their own products. It's going to open up a whole new economy for this community. Then looking at community and events. So in the multi-channel world, we're super restricted by geography, language, time zone. In the multiverse, we're able to go universally available where people can come and go when they please. We've seen these multi-day concerts happen in Fortnite. That's clearly not something that's possible in the real world. In the multi-channel world, we are limited by the physical constraints of the real world. In the multiverse, brands are going to be able to explore adjacent experiences that are not possible in real life. An example, like, let's say that you sell suitcases. In the multiverse, you can actually take your customers on an incredible vacation as a reason to then use your suitcases in real life, or maybe they're purchasing digital suitcases from you to take with them. And I also wanted to touch on how we're already seeing kind of these ways of interacting already starting. A big trend in retail has been conversational commerce and video shopping with sales associates in stores as a result of the pandemic. But we're already setting a foundation there for us getting comfortable talking to someone on in a store somewhere or in a virtual environment. In the future, maybe we'll be having virtual appointments with avatar sales associates in metaverse stores. Who knows? And then finally, products production and supply chain. And there's a lot of really exciting potential here when it comes to sustainability. So in multi-channel, we're producing physical goods for the physical world. In the multiverse, we've got physical goods, we've got digital digital twins of physical goods, and we've also got NFTs. I'm not going to get into a lot about NFTs right now, but we see them emerging. We see a whole new economy around them, and it's a whole new space for ownership and expression. And we're starting to work on this. So we're also seeing that people are producing a lot of 3D assets for use on virtual models. You'll see a lot of websites that have VR, AR experiences online to really solve like the size and fit problems. But in the multiverse, you can imagine that we're going to need 3D products for hyper-realistic avatars to wear in the metaverse. So we really need to start thinking about the foundations that we're putting in place right now and how, if they're going to be applicable to the metaverse. And finally, what I was saying about sustainability, right now, we are often producing and selling physical goods before we really understand how much they are desired, right? We're using sell-throughs and how much stock is left over to understand what we should have produced. In the multiverse, you can see that maybe we'll be producing digital goods as a first point of call to understand customer demand prior to going into physical production. So when it comes to sustainability and reduction of waste, I feel like the metaverse is really going to open up a lot of opportunities. And recently, Farfetch launched an entire pre-order campaign just using digitally rendered goods sent and rendered on influencers around the world. So we didn't ship any goods anywhere in order to produce that campaign. So the key takeaways for me to you as someone just working in tech or maybe working in retail, the metaverse is emerging, and while being led by Gen Z, we will all be taken there in the same way as the internet unfolded. So do not think that it is not for you. I'm aging now, and so it's easy for me to feel this way, but it's happening. Digital products, particularly collectible NFTs, are on the upward swing of the hype cycle with little interoperability between platforms, but that will evolve quickly. So it's quite like, it will mellow out and there's something to be looked at there. discovery of not just digital, but also physical goods will happen in the metaverse. I think people don't really think about that. Like, you can be influenced by something in the real world by someone in the virtual world. And then finally, participants in the metaverse value inclusivity and ethics, and only brands that embrace this are going to be accepted. So if you're thinking about going into this space, do it authentically with a perspective that is unique to your brand. I hope that was helpful. Thank you. That's all my content for today. I think maybe I don't know if there are any questions that have come in.